Students, I know it's Thursday and it's supposed to be a holiday, but then we need to complete our portion and I need to make up for some, especially that you all have lots of grammar. Yes, so that's why not only today, but every Thursday I will be giving you all at least one essay. So you can just copy and write. Today I will be teaching you all the different types of essay, at least the basic types of essays, and how you are supposed to go about writing your essay and how many marks are allotted for what. So you know what you need to pay attention to when you're writing an essay. Okay. Now the basic essay format. A basic essay consists of three main parts: introduction, body and conclusion. However, flexibility is important. Now here they're talking of just three parts, but here it's not necessary that you just have the first part as your introduction and then you have a body and then you have a conclusion. So not just three, your body you can divide into more parts. So your body is the main part which tells you everything, what the essay is about. Okay, where you talk about the main topic of the essay. The introduction is where you are just telling, introducing the topic to the person reading the essay. Okay, you can introduce it by giving a proverb, by quoting somebody, means giving the exact words what somebody has said in inverted commas. Okay, and by giving a small idea of what the topic is about. Like say supposing that your topic is on pollution. Okay, so when you have the topic on pollution, in your introductory part, you can write the meaning of the word pollution. Okay, and what pollution means, and that's how you will introduce the topic pollution. Okay, then in your body you can have, now here I just told you not just one part, you can have many parts in your body. Like maybe the first part you can say what are the different types of pollution, the second part you can say how they are affecting us, and the third part you can say is how we can prevent pollution. Okay, so here I just give you the example where you divided your body into three parts. Clear? And then at the end you have your conclusion where you will tell how it is important or why it is important to stop pollution totally, or at least to reduce pollution as much as possible. Yes, because we are spoiling our own future. Yes, we will be the ones suffering if we do not stop pollution. Yes, so you have to give, because remember in the body you have already told the effects, the causes and how we can stop it. Yes, but in your ending you have to sort of summarize the whole thing and say like, okay, now we have seen how pollution is affecting us, so we need to take a decision right now and start right away that we are not going to cause pollution, not going to waste material which causes pollution, and help to make a better and a cleaner environment and a better future and safer future for all of us. Okay, that will be your conclusion. So I hope you'll have all got the idea of what the three main parts are. That's what is the meaning of flexibility is important here. You will change according to how much matter you have to write, or how much, some people cannot write more. So maybe you will just write everything in one part in the body. That's it. People who have more things to write about, you can divide your body if it's too big into two parts or three parts. Okay, but your main part, that is the starting of your essay, should be the introduction telling you more about the topic. Yes, like you giving a proverb, like suppose you are talking of honesty, you can say honesty is the best policy. Okay, so their topic is honesty, but you started with a proverb, honesty is the best policy. So that's how you can uh, start your essay. Okay, I'll just read what's given. Introduction. This is the first paragraph of your essay. This is where you introduce your topic for the very first time. It should begin with a hook that catches the reader's interest. Hook means I just said your hook line, your main punch line, what do you say? Could be a proverb, could be a quote. Okay, or quoting somebody could be a proverb. Okay, so to do so, you can start with a quote or a proverb. Sometimes you can even start with a definition, like I just gave you what is pollution. Okay. Another interesting strategy to engage with your reader is to start with a question. So here you can start like pollution. What is pollution? That will be a question, and then you yourself will answer it. What pollution is? You'll give a, so pollution is defined as to make something unclean, to pollute or to make unclean. Okay, so you're answering your question that you have given. After getting the reader's attention, you can give a very brief synopsis of your essay in the introductory paragraph. Generally, it is not very long, about 4 to 6 lines. So, generally, introductory paragraph is just 4 to 6 lines. Now we go to the body. The body of the essay supports the main points and contains the most vital, that is the most important content of the essay. This need not be confined to one paragraph. It can extend to 2 or more paragraphs according to the content. Each point is developed by 1 or more paragraphs and supported with specific details. So as I just told you, you want to divide it into 2 or 3 parts. I just told you, first you talk about how pollution is caused, then you talk about the effects, and then you can talk about the remedies. So you will tell everything in detail according to your specific point of each paragraph. These details can include support from research and experience, also the writer's own analysis and discussion on the topic. So you can give your own viewpoint, not necessarily you have to get only information from out, but better if you have information from out plus your viewpoint on it. Conclusion. The conclusion brings together all the main points of the essay. This is the last paragraph of the essay. Sometimes a conclusion will just mirror the introductory para, but make sure the words and syntax are different. So it means sometimes the introduction and the conclusion are almost the same. The ideas, the thoughts are almost the same. But make sure you don't just copy and write it. You change the words, change the way you have written, change some words and change some points over there. A conclusion is also a great place to sum up a story or an argument. You can round up your essay by providing some morals or wrapping up a story. So at the end you can even end it with like as I just said, so let us all make a vow that we are going to ensure that we have a better future by reducing pollution. Okay. Make sure you complete your essay with the conclusion. Leave no hanging threads. So you have to see, don't just leave your essay incomplete. You are not going to get full marks. Your introduction, your body and your conclusion have to be there. If you have less time, just write a few lines on each. Just 3 lines on your introduction, just 6 lines or 7 lines on your body, and 2 lines on your conclusion. But see that you're writing everything, because if you don't complete it, you are not going to get marks. Whereas if you at least write something, all the 3, you at least get some marks. Okay. In the conclusion, new topics or ideas that were not developed in the paper should not be introduced. So that means whatever you have written before, you will be talking only and only about that, not something new. Okay, when you're having your conclusion. Okay, we go to the next page. Now here, this is very, very important. Many of you all, when you write your essay, you leave lines. See, you're getting marks basically for your format. Yes, and your format is very important. As per the board paper pattern, you are not supposed to leave lines in your writing when you're writing your essay. Only you write your title, after that you will leave a line. That's the only place you will leave a line. Okay, then second thing is, you begin your paragraphs by leaving 2 finger space. Each para should not start from the margin. Clear? Because that is your format. Now what do you get marks for? Like for example, see, marks are allotted for the format, grammar, spellings and the subject matter, means what you have written. So your format is, I just told you, no leaving lines and leaving 2 finger space, and 3 basic paras, that is your introduction, your body and your conclusion. If you don't have all that, that's your format is incomplete, so you're not going to get marks per format. I'll give you an example how this is distributed. For example, supposing the essay is of 5 marks. maybe you will have 2 marks for format, 1.5 marks for grammar, and 1.5 marks for 1 mark for grammar, 1 mark for spelling, or maybe 1.5 mark for grammar and spellings, and 1.5 mark for the actual matter that you have written. Now all this depends on your teacher. Okay, in the board pattern they have their own different way of giving your marks. The same, you get marks for the same thing, but the distribution of marks may differ. Okay, now if it's a 4 marks, maybe teacher might just decide 1 mark for format, 1 mark for spellings, and 2 marks for your subject matter, the actual matter that you have written, whether it is on the topic or you have written any rubbish, anything. Yes, so you have to be, even if you have to remember that you're getting marks even for your format. So if you leave lines in your essay and you don't leave 2 finger space after each, when you're starting a new para, you are not going to get your marks. Even if your essay is perfect with no grammatical error, no spelling mistake, your subject matter is perfect, you will lose marks for the format. Okay, now there are many types of essays, but the main basic types of essays which we generally the children are asked to write are, there are 4 types. Okay, there are 4 basic types of essays. First is expository or reflective essay, you can say, where you reflect upon and think upon something and explore it. So expository essay compare, explore and discuss problems. While there is a bit of a storytelling element to them, their purpose is greater than that. It's always to explain some integral concept to the reader. As such, the expository essay is an informative piece of writing that defines and explains a topic using facts, statistics, and examples. Expository essays are based on facts and not personal feelings. Writers do not reveal their emotions or write in the first person. Okay, here the last line, expository essays are based on facts. Remember to write ES capital. Okay. Now, for example, some examples. The pleasures of reading. Here, see, you are going to write on the facts. You will not say, I like to read. Yes, you will write what do you get when you have a habit of reading. It doesn't keep you idle, it keeps you away from doing other things which are not good. You get a good habit, you get good knowledge, your language increases, your vocabulary increases, your language improves. Yes, so you also get knowledge about what's happening around you, because you're not talking of just reading books, you're talking about even reading in newspapers, reading about magazines, novels. Reading is reading anything. Okay, so here you are going to tell about, if you have the knowledge or if you know the facts, like how many people are uneducated, so they do not know to read and write. Yes, so you can even put that down in your essay, but you're not supposed to put in your own like your own what do you say, experience into it. Okay, you will just be stating the things and stating the facts. So here now if you see the example, students and discipline, so you're going to state the facts, how students and discipline should go together, how it is important for a student to maintain discipline. Okay, if I were the Prime Minister of India, here also you will be stating the facts. Now this is what India needs, and as a Prime Minister, this is the duty of the Prime Minister. So if I were the Prime Minister, I would complete my duty, see that India is safe from all foreign attacks, see that there is no discrimination, see that the people below poverty line are brought up to par with the rest of the country, so that everyone goes hand in hand. We must remember that even if one person is left behind, it takes the country backward. So everyone should progress, and when everyone progresses, the country progresses. So that's what I would do as a Prime Minister. Okay, so that's how you will write. Okay, going to the next one, descriptive essay. As the name suggests, this essay is all about the language, adjectives, similes and metaphors. These kinds of essays are about describing in detail anything you are asked to write about. A writer might describe a person, place, object, or even memory of this special significance. Descriptive essays describe the traits and characteristics of people, objects, events, and feelings in intricate detail. Means descriptive essay gives you all the detail. Like for example, I can tell you um, say describe a village, life in a village. Okay, so you are going to tell in all the details how the people live in the village. They get up in the morning, they go to the field, what they eat, how what time they get up, what time they sleep, what do they the things that they have a simple living. They don't have they don't live in big buildings. They live in small little huts or small cottages. Okay, so that's what you are going to describe in detail. What's being described will be thoroughly examined. For example, if you're describing roses, you might want to detail their origin means from where the rose originated, how they look, their appearance, their color, their fragrance, etc. So you're going to write everything, whatever you know about the rose, maybe even how useful the rose is, what products are made from a rose, like rose water, gulab jal, what do you say in Hindi? Yes, gulkhand. All this is made from rose. Even in the soap, yes, it's good for the skin, it's good for fragrance, perfume, etc. All that is made from rose. So all that you are going to write. Example, write an essay about your most recent holiday experience. So you are going to give in detail your experience. Write an essay describing your national flag, your national animal, national bird, national flower. So each of this, whatever is told to you, you have to give everything in detail about that. Or like, oh, I just said life in a village. Okay. Next, narrative essay. A narrative essay is a more personal piece of writing with your point of view being made clear for your reader. All narrative essays have characters, settings, a climax, and most importantly, a plot. The plot is the focus of the story and is usually revealed chronologically, but there are sometimes flash forwards and flashbacks. So maybe you could go backward, or you can go ahead also. That's no problem. These essays can be stories or sometimes called creative non-fiction. So not copied from somewhere else. Basically, it's like you're telling a story of your own. The use of the first person pronoun, the writer, tells a story about a real life experience, and I is not uncommon in these essays. Sorry, there is a mistake here. The use of the first person pronoun is common, and the letter I, yeah, and the letter I is used commonly in this essay. Okay, letter I is not uncommon means used commonly. Okay, it shouldn't be N, it should be and. Okay, now for example, a rainy day. So here you will describe what happened on a rainy day to you. Let's say maybe it was the sky was not very cloudy, so I decided to go shopping, and when the moment I reached the station, it started pouring, thundering, and it didn't stop raining. And so you describe how you went about your work in spite of it being raining all around, or maybe you got wet, and instead of being grumpy, you were still happy about it and enjoyed yourself in the rain. Okay, same thing when you're talking of autobiography. You must remember, autobiography is you are telling your story. Autobiography of a coin. So you are telling your story as a coin. So you are the coin, you are the umbrella, you are the river. You are telling your story where you were manufactured, where you were born. Okay, where you were manufactured, where you were made, then who bought you, and how they used you, whether they used you or they misused you, whether they took care of you or they really mistreated you. Yes, and then what is your condition right now, whether you are happy where you are, or you maybe you have, if you're a coin, maybe you've fallen on the road and you are still lying there in the muck, in the dirt, and you're waiting for someone to pick you up. Okay, so that is your story. Okay, or maybe someone, you fell in the muck and someone picked you up and then put you in the piggy bank. So that's your story. Now right now you are lying in the piggy bank. Okay, so when you are talking of A narrative essay, generally you yourself are telling, so you will say I did this, or I felt pain when someone stamped me. Okay, you not say the coin felt pain. No, you are the coin, so you will say I felt the pain when they stamped on me. Okay. Next one, argumentative essay. In an argumentative essay, the writer is trying to convince the reader of something. He or she will demonstrate the validity or falsity of a topic. So if you are given a topic, you will tell whether you believe in the topic or you don't believe in the topic. And if you believe in the topic, why you believe. If you don't believe, why you don't believe. And you'll try to convince the person reading your essay also to think from your point of view. Okay. Like for example, um, you can say mobiles. Are they a boon or a curse? Means are they a blessing or a curse? So you will, if you think they are a blessing, you'll write why they are. You think that it's a blessing and why you think it's a blessing. If you think it is a curse, you think that it is a curse and why you think it is a curse. Okay. The writer's position will be backed up with evidence, including statistics or the opinions of experts. So when you are giving your point of view, you will give your, like I just said about the mobile phone, you will tell how many, as per research, as per scientists, they found out the ill effects of the mobile. Yes, how your eyesight gets affected, your hearing gets affected, even your brain activity gets reduced because of the mobile, because of the exposure to the UV rays from the mobile. In these essays, the writer isn't merely offering an opinion but making an argument for or against something. So, you're not just to say something, you have to have something strong to say about whatever your topic is with conviction and supporting an argument, that argument with data. To write an argumentative essay, it is important to research and back up what you say in the text. Examples: are we happier? Oh, that should be are, A-R-E. Are we happier than our forefathers? Newspapers have become obsolete. Is wealth a requirement for happiness? So, your first one, they're asking you whether you are happier than your forefathers or your forefathers were happier than you. So that you have to think. Then maybe you can say it's not that we are happier than our forefathers nor our forefathers. Both the times have their own benefits. Yes, have their own reasons to be happy. Like in the maybe forefathers' time, there were less. You can say diseases like, really, if you really go to see diseases like AIDS. Now if you see the one that we just had now, your COVID and all, were not never even heard of. It never happened over there. Well, as we have all these new diseases that are coming up now, even though we have found out new medicines and we're progressing ahead in science and medicine, but still these new diseases are cropping up which never were heard of before during our forefathers' time, because the environment was clean, because they did not have UV rays affecting them. Yes, so you can write this as your conclusion after arguing for both the sides. The same thing with newspapers have become obsolete, means people are hardly or not reading newspapers at all. So they are depending more upon the TV or the internet, and when they get all the news from the TV and internet, why will they sit and read the newspaper? So is wealth a requirement for happiness? So that's also you have to think, right, whether you feel yes, it is a requirement for happiness. So only if you have wealth you are happy, or no, even without health you can be happy, and you have to write it with examples, not just say yes or no. You have to say, give it with example. You can say even about Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa, even though she had no wealth, but she was happy because she was doing social service. So she gained happiness from social service, not from wealth. Okay, so you, I hope you all have understood everything. There is, if you want, you can read the. You have to read this again and write this in your grammar book, in your grammar notebook. Okay, and please do read as you are writing. Read it again. And I will be, remember, I will be giving you all every Thursday. I will be, even though there is no class scheduled, English class, I will be giving you all an essay. At least for next 2 Thursdays, I will be giving you all an essay to write. Okay. Thank you and do have a good day.